What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi, and I am I'll be on camera to do my other half, my other half of the surviving R. Kelly piece that I mentioned in one of my other videos. I said that I realized that I hadn't seen the whole thing. I thought I had until it came on again, and I almost wasn't going to watch it, and I realized that they were showing stuff I hadn't seen. And so I need to speak to that. Um, but I want to begin by reminding you of something I've said a million times since I started doing videos in 2014. If you want something you never had before, you've got to do something you never did before. I'm going to say it again. If you want something you never had before, you've got to do something you never did before. That is the key to anything in life that you are trying to achieve. I need you to really hear that. I just gave you the key to success in life. It's that simple. It's that simple, everybody. And then it's just about what you want. What do you want? If you want something you never had before, you got to do something you never did before. It's that simple. It's that simple. I'm trying to move to Africa in 2020. I only started flying on airplanes in 2009 or 10. And I only fly here in the United States. I only fly in the summertime. I only fly during the day. I must be on a 757 or larger. You feel me? Like, this is... So, I want to move to Africa. I'm going to have to fly 18, 20 something hours in day and night and be in the air longer than 6 hours. But there ain't no other way for me to get there. So I have to put it all down. If you want something you never had before, you got to do something you never did before. You must. And why my people don't thrive in so many areas, and one of the many reasons my people don't thrive, is because so many of us are locked into our own petty nothingness. You know, it's hard to take African people out to even a restaurant that serves food they never ate before. Oh, I don't eat that. You're never going to have the experience. You see? If you want something you never had before, whatever you can conjure, you must do something you never did. That's from material success to faith and holiness to business to schooling, any facet of life. And this applies here. But there's two things. First of all, that principle applies here. Because if we continue to always have someone amongst us that gives in to this enemy and we don't handle them, we're allowing the shit to continue against us. Want something you never had, you got to do shit you never did. Well, in this case, you got to shut down motherfuckers that go against the culture. And for no reason. Because I remind you, the Super Bowl does not pay the performers. Hear that again. No one gets paid for the Super Bowl, everybody. This is the fact. The logic behind that is that they feel like they're giving you the biggest audience that on a single day that anybody could have, and that's the trade-off. So you should be so lucky we invited you to perform. You know. Now my understanding is they pay for production cost and of the show, and that's but no performer gets paid, which makes this all that much more egregious. Because they had Maroon 5, we've been hearing that. But what this speaks to me is what we know to be true. None of that shit is interesting unless we involved in it, especially when it comes to entertainment. They've been looking around for we got to have some blackface up there. It just won't work. It won't work. It won't work. It won't work. And they look at the numbers. So you got to realize they're selling these outrageous 3 and 4 minute ads or 30-second ads, because everybody knows Super Bowl commercials are like a show unto themselves, and those are shown at halftime. Well, they're shown throughout the game, but certainly at halftime. Like, you want to see the commercials and the show. So the untold kabillions that they are raking in, you see. But they understand that the viewership, when they look back over previous Super Bowls, Super Bowl halftime shows, when they look at before they were inviting African performers, what those numbers look like, the audience. Because a lot of people, like myself, there's been Super Bowls that I only watched the halftime show. I'm not a sports fan. I'm not sitting and watching a football game. I don't have any time in my life for that. There's no time in my life that would involve me watching a football game. There's nothing productive there. People just running up and down a field. I can't. That's beneath my intellectual throne. It's beneath me. It's beneath my entire throne, goddammit. But they weren't going to stop until they made their own statement be right. Because they dissed Colin Kaepernick. They've dissed the NFL players. Them niggas don't know how to just walk the fuck off the field and take their shit off and say, we're over this bitch and we'll go to Africa if we have to and start our own fucking leagues. We have the money. No. We got to kowtow to massa. But our point will be made if not a single African will step up. So fuck Travis Scott, who I don't know, and fuck Big Boy and the bitches, them fat greasy bitches that gave birth to them. I said it. You see? Where are the brothers from the hood that roll on fools' houses? You say, where they at when you need them? You know what I'm saying? I mean, where they at? Where they at? Where are they at? It might be time to start an organization that just harnesses those brothers. You feel me? We give them a stipend, like a little spending money. We take care of some other things for them and stuff, keep them comfortable, but keep them stabilized. Just keep them in the stable. So when you need them to roll on fools, you just dispatch. You see, here go Travis's address, homie. There you go. Work that out. Make that happen. There go Big Boy. I think that's where his cousin live. I think that's where his cousin live and stuff. I think this is where his mama live. His mama. I think they said that's where his mama live. His auntie. But I'm just saying, I can't with this. I can't. But Travis Scott, I don't have to know him. But I can tell you that Travis Scott and Big Boy are what? Christians. The worst and the weakest amongst us. Their whole history is nothing but selling us out and betraying us and kowtowing to massa. Spineless. No fight. Non-militant. You will never see that from the Muslim. Never. Because principle has to be close to godliness because of righteousness. So what is right is your brothers that look like you have been called sons of bitches by the President of the United States and all these other predominantly racist white yahoos that exist amongst white people. And you would dare. And this Maroon 5 dude, which incidentally I do like some of their music, is a fake me out Jew. We say fake me out because you have to be melanated and be an African in order to be the children of Israel. These are not the chosen people. They are not. They're just white people. That's all he is. He's a white dude. That's it. Don't give me this Jewish bullshit. You're a white dude. Period. End of fucking statement. Done. Done. So, we should be angry about this. And for those of you who are hip-hop fans, which I am not, you need to be over Travis Scott, whoever the fuck he is, and Big Boy. You understand? In recent months, numerous high-profile artists, including Rihanna, Adele, Jay-Z, Pink, and Cardi B, have reportedly turned down these bitches for this year's halftime slot in solidarity with the former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick. You see? And Big Boy or fucking Travis Scott could be pulled over. And probably have. You see? Y'all should be identifying with this shit more than any fucking body. How dare you? But we can't just stop there. How many African people will buy tickets to this fucking Super Bowl and be at the show? Now, Atlanta is supposed to be Chocolate City. Atlanta's supposed to be Chocolate City. At least it was when I lived there. It's the first time I had a black mailman continuously. Do you understand what I'm telling you? The police that drove past me down the street was black. I drive down the street and the construction crews are black. You feel me? So isn't it non-ironic, because the white man is always plotting and scheming, isn't it non-ironic that then you have this in Atlanta? So, of course, you're going to have people that fly from every place because they're going to, wherever the Super Bowl, if the bitch is in Antarctica, they're going. You know, it's the Super Bowl, we're going, you know. But how many of them black folks in Atlanta are going to be in them fucking stands? And they all need to be dragged for filth. You see, again, if it goes back to my opening, if you want something you never had before, you got to do shit you never did before. Black folks continue to be abused and disrespected and stepped over because they know if you won't do it, it's another nigga that will. We got to start shutting down those niggas that will. And making it impossible for they bitch ass to do a fucking thing. Do you understand me? This makes me so sick, dude. I can't. I can't. I can't. The 2019 halftime Super Bowl bullshit is finally here. We finally got our niggers. The NFL on Sunday officially announced that Maroon 5, and they keep leading with that, will be joined by sellout bitch and punk ass nigga Travis Scott and his bitch boy Big Boy at the upcoming championship game. But again, it's so nuanced, you guys, because we can bitch about Travis and Big Boy, but what about them niggas that's gonna be on the field running up and down that bitch the entire time? Fuck the halftime show before you even get to the halftime show. These fake ass, weak ass, spineless ass, non-king ass motherfucking boys will be running up and down the field. Because their allegiance is to money and not the divine. You see, this is why I always speak so boldly and tell you that the character of the Christian is far beneath and inferior to that of the Muslim. Anyone who will stand within looking distance of me that is not a Muslim is immediately inferior to me in character. I don't care how nice of a person they are. They just are inferior. They're inferior. I need you to really hear that. And it's willful. Because I am superior because of my knowledge of the divine and all that he has taught me. You understand? That I am connected to the way of life that he has prescribed for all mankind. That immediately sets me above the rest of the fruit. You understand? I always tell you, don't get the credit without the work. So you can be hurt by that and you can be bitching about it. I don't give a fuck. The truth is all I am beholden to. That's it. What is truth and what is right. Period. Period. So it will immediately be a moral issue for any Muslim. Forget politics. Forget any of it. Because there's no way they could have made these same, if Colin Kaepernick had been a Muslim, and this had happened to a Muslim or anybody Muslim, every single Muslim, we don't have to even talk about it. We know we're over that. As a group, we're over that. We don't got to tweet about it. We don't even need to talk about it. Every Muslim knows we're over that. I cite for you. You'll remember the big dust-up with the cartoonist several years ago. Many years ago now it's been. Several years, damn it. I forget what country he lived in. That was trying, he knew that it is an insult to Muslims and Islam to, sorry y'all, I'm having problems with my mic. I don't like for my lips to touch my mic. Anyway, because that gets picked up by the mic. Anyway, he knew it's an insult to Muslims and Islam and to the Prophet of Islam, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to depict, but we don't depict any prophets. None of them. It's not just Muhammad ibn Abdullah. None of them do we depict. That is blasphemous. We're not making movies about the son of Mary. We're not doing that. We don't have any pictures of him anywhere doing anything at all. But certainly, we will go for your jugular when you dare to insult Islam publicly, and then you're going to try and draw a cartoon of the Prophet. And he was dealt with by Muslims, as he should be. Allahu Akbar. But I use that to say that where is our fire? That we should be that same way as a group. That there can be no transgress against one of us. And to transgress against one of us if you transgressed against all of us. That we are all personally insulted. Listen, gang members do this shit. For all we want to say bad about gang members, there's a lot of principles that they are abiding by that can be of great value and example to anyone who would observe them. And this is yet another one that I'm citing. You diss one of them. Next thing you know, it's going to be 8 of them rolling. I heard you diss my homeboy, man. And they going to take you out. Like, it's going down. It's going down. You got to respect that loyalty. You got to respect that. And I do. I do. Loyalty is everything. I don't give a fuck who's exercising it. Give a fuck. Loyalty is everything. It's everything. It's everything. So, what do we do now? Well, we don't watch it. The game, for all the motherfucking niggas out there that think they need to have a Super Bowl party and this and the third because, you know, the economy surges because there you go and buying all this bullshit. Every show, every talk show is going to have tailgate suggestions and every chef will be rolled out to show you what you should be fixing for tailgate parties and all the bullshit. And don't buy into any of that. Can you just have some damn discipline, black people? Damn. And again, it goes back to the gang members. If you hurt one, and the Muslim, if you hurt one, you've hurt them all. They will come for you. You understand? So, can you just do that here? Can you exercise that? You have to feel like it's happened to you. Personally. That's what we need. So we can't control the people that are going to be in the stands. But I always tell you also, we have to control the shit that we can control. We can shut down Travis Scott's and Big Boy's entire career. Shut them down. Shun them. They should not be seen being interviewed by any black reporters or press people. Anyone following them, any black people following them on any social media should unfriend them right now. You can go across the board. I'm telling you, there's ways to exercise power so that they see they've been blacked out. Nah, bruh. You not with us. Goes back to the gang members. You turn on they shit and you a snitch, you did some shit that was disloyal, they will handle your ass. And you're one of their own. It's not going to happen. Even in Islam, we have names for those who would go against Islam that are Muslims. And we deal with them. You understand? Because there's a brotherhood of Islam. We need that shit amongst African people. We need that. We need that. In recent months, numerous high-profile artists, including Rihanna, Adele, Jay-Z, Pink, and Cardi B, have reportedly turned down these bitches for the halftime slot with former NFL quarterback. Okay, but it's in solidarity. All right, the controversy around Kaepernick began when the San Francisco 49ers quarterback started kneeling during the national anthem in 2016 in protest of racial inequality in the U.S. He hasn't played professionally since 2017 and filed a grievance against the league and its owners last fall for conspiring to not hire him. I want to stop and say this. Even this orange tulip has shut down the government. Because what? He understands what I understand. If you want shit you never had before, you got to do shit that you never did before. And you got to have the fucking balls to do it. We don't have to like it that the fucking government is shut down. But he wants his fucking wall. And so it's by any fucking means necessary. I got to respect that. It's some bullshit. But I got to respect that. But we should also take that as an example. We're the most fucking oppressed group on fucking earth. And we got no balls at all. None. None. My God. Travis Scott required NFL to make charitable contributions to Super Bowl halftime. Fuck you, bitch. Just before Sunday's official lineup announcement, Billboard confirmed that Scott required the NFL to make a joint donation to an organization fighting for social justice in order for him to move forward with the event. Fuck you, bitch. Well, How much? Or what is it even money? News of Scott's involvement with the halftime show was initially met with some criticism. Michael B. Jordan, Reverend Al Sharpton, and others voiced their disapproval of Scott's choice to team with the NFL after their treatment of Kaepernick. I say Kaepernick, damn it, that's how it's spelled. Kaepernick. Bite my ass. All right, Maroon 5 was confirmed in September to play the Super Bowl halftime show, Super Bowl whatever number, because I'm not into Roman numeral. Fuck it. Will take place February 3rd at the new Mercedes Stadium in Atlanta. Travis Scott required NFL to make sure. Okay, a source. A source. You see, I've told you in many readings, we're not into sources. We need names. Because we get a name, you get a quotation. You see what I'm saying? A source. What's the other one I hate? Officials. You see, sources, officials, a spokesperson. Name the bitch. A source. Close to the negotiations confirmed. That's not good enough. That's still hearsay. That the musician insisted the league make a joint donation to an organization fighting for social justice in order for him to move forward with his fucking vagina. I'm over it. Travis Scott, who I don't fucking know and needs to die, has signed on to perform during the halftime show for Super Bowl whatever number, but only after the NFL agreed to join him in donating to a cause. Join him? So you put up your own money, bruh? Fuck you, you dumb bitch. I can't, dude. It's the wrong people dying. Do you understand? The wrong people are dying. Every day, it's the wrong people. To join him in donating to a cause such as Billboard has learned. The Sicko Mode star, whatever the fuck, was confirmed as a special guest set to join Maroon 5 for the halftime show back in December. A source close to the negotiation has now confirmed to Billboard that Scott required the NFL to make a joint donation to an organization fighting for social. You said that 20 times. Tell me the fucking number. How much? News of his involvement in the halftime show, which is set to take place Sunday, February 3rd at Atlanta's Mercedes Stadium, was initially met with some criticism. Well, I hope my brothers and sisters in Atlanta will be out in full force in front of that fucking stadium, blocking any and all entrance. You see what I'm saying? And especially causing problems at the fucking halftime show. Yes, goddamn it, wreak havoc. Initially met with some criticism. Michael B. Jordan, Reverend Sharpton, and others voiced their disapproval of Scott's choice to team. Several artists have reportedly turned down the show. Blah blah blah. Maroon 5 is confirmed. I'm over it. No. Look, I'm over this dude. Is that him? One of these little sissy rappers. You see, the blonde, you see, and the tattoos to try and make up for their lack of masculinity. The little hat with the pink in it. No nigga should ever be wearing any fucking pink. I even hate it when I do videos and I wear my fire engine red fucking shirt and it looks pink on camera. I'm over it. Whoever's calling me right now will die. What else? Anyways, I'm over it, dude. I'm over it. Let me just click this in case. It looks like what we just read already. Yeah, alright. They're not giving us a number. You know. And which means I don't believe it. And what he doesn't understand is this issue is not about money. This is about principle. You know, but as I say, it's nuanced because how can we bitch at him? But it's still kind of a victory if we get no black people to perform at this fucking bullshit. Then at least them niggas out there on the field have to feel some kind of way that none of us came. We didn't come do their national fucking anthem. We didn't come to fucking do shit. Like, y'all bitch ass is there playing this game. And in my perfect world, there'd be no African people in the stands anywhere. It'd be a totally white event. The only black people there would be the niggas on the field playing. That would be it. I dream for shit like this for my people. You don't understand. Because there's nothing more delicious than solidarity. My God, people. I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. Anyways, I want to go on camera to talk about this R. Kelly thing because, excuse me. Because I need to. All right, and I probably will still be ranting about this, but let me switch over now.
Now, we couldn't just present the Jedi. You know, there had to be, drama and fanfare. So it is, goddammit. Um, I also want to say to new people, because there's a lot of new people on the channel, and by the way, a very tired and scruffy Jedi, that's one of the advantages of when you're not on camera. Doesn't matter how tired you are or how bullshit you look, you'll really got to do shit. Two things. Two, because we have a bunch of new people on the channel. Welcome to all of the new subscribers. I am the Jedi. Two things. First, I have an issue with my teeth up top in the back that I should have pulled like a year and a half ago. But when they pull your teeth, they want to charge you $700 per pop to put something there in place of where the tooth that they pulled came out of. And I have on this side and on this side, I have teeth that are on the side, they're jagged. And when I know I'm going to be doing a lot of talking, I have to put gauze so that my gums don't scrape, because when they scrape, they swell, and then I bite my cheeks inside. It's a whole drama. Anyway, so that's why you see me doing this a lot, to move the gauze when I start talking and stuff like that. The other thing is, I don't know if I said this on my other video, but I've said to you guys in the past, like, especially, like, I'm always doing stuff that keeps me humble as a human being. And one of the things I've told my audience a long time ago, like, I'm up here in coats and hoods and scarves and things, not because I don't have heat, but because I do have heat. But I'm aware of those who don't. I'm somebody that cries in my plate most all the time. I could just sit down to eat anything and I weep when I'm making prayer over that, because it's such a gift, and I'm able to recognize that there's people that don't have that, and that breaks my heart. But it increases my awareness of my own gratitude and the blessing that is upon me. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, never look to the man who has more than you. Always look to the man who has less than you, so you can see the mercy of Allah on you. I live by that. I live by that. I live by that. I always live in a space of gratitude for the biggest and the smallest thing in my life. It doesn't matter. I live in that space of gratitude. I live in that. So I just want to share those couple of things before I got started. And also, I'm also really weak too, you guys, because I told you guys I started that Harvoni stuff for the Hep C. And, praise be to Allah, I've not really had any real side effects from it. You know, in fact, the people called me today, and and I was telling you guys it's $32,000. It's $32,000 a pop because it's for 3 months. So 32,000, 32,000, 32,000. I'm over it. And so I am very tired. You know, that's supposed to be one of the side effects that you probably experience a lot of fatigue. So I'm busy anyway, so I don't know how to really classify it. Am I fatigued or am I just with my normal tired, or is this, yeah, anyway, I am tired. Like I'm burnt right here right now, burnt. But I wanted to speak on this because there's been a lot, I've seen a lot of you guys' comments. In fact, I've seen a lot of you guys' comments on the R. Kelly video that I did. And there's another one. Again, shout out to all the new subscribers. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Just random read a few. John Henry, Lorna Reed, Kitchen Talk with India, Kevin Quinn, Meritum 4, Alicia M, Kendall, Shireen Nizah. I'm going to say Salam Alaikum to you. That sounds like a Muslim name. Angela Briggs, Nancy Saleh, Salam Alaikum. Power Man, Maya Ray, Andrea B, Elsid Abuja, Salamu Alaikum. Shakima Amin, Salamu Alaikum. Arize Woman, Crystal Sturgeon, Blessed Natural 44, Richard Rundino, Richard Rundino, Bertha Bonds, Joy Fitzgerald, Y. Sims, Cheryl DeVos. I can't even go on. I mean, shout out to all the new subscribers, you guys, and there's a whole ton that I'm not reading. Nyla Sheikh, Salam Alaikum. Rita 965, Kathy Metzger, Naeem Bricks, Naeem, I'm gonna say Salam Alaikum. Miss Patty Cakes 55, aka Marcy, D Smith, Helen 54233, RT Bell, Mary Johnson. I could keep going. Shout out to all the new subscribers, you guys. We've had a large influx of new people on the channel, and I'm deeply honored. I'm deeply honored. Deeply, deeply honored. Deeply honored. But I was going to say that there's been a lot of comments from you guys from the previous R. Kelly video that I did. And I just want to say first, there are no wrong answers here, everybody. There's no wrong answers here. You know, and I didn't say it in my video, but I just want to say, just so that I'm clear, I was expressing what I felt about the whole R. Kelly debacle. You know, that was about what I felt based on what I saw. Why I'm back now to do this is because I saw more. I thought I saw the whole thing. I saw like 10 parts of the shit practically, but it came on again and my thing recorded it. And I was getting ready to delete it and I saw titles and I was like, well, let me just check the first one just. And I did, and I realized I didn't see this. I hadn't seen a lot of stuff. Just didn't see it. Didn't see the two, you know, when he went to court, the 2 court cases. But also the legal age is 17 in Chicago. 17. And I also had the opportunity to see something else. Somebody I saw did a video, because you know R. Kelly supposedly likes dudes too. Like there's been testimony that he was interacting with some males sexually, and there I guess there's this one dude that's his main dude. I think I mentioned this in one of my pieces that I did on him, but anyway, somebody was showing pictures of this dude, and they were saying how he always dressed like R. Kelly. They always pose the same in pictures. It's always, you know, anyway. But they showed some pictures where the dude looks like R. Kelly, and then the dude in the video he goes, wait a minute, maybe that was the dude that was actually in the sex video. It was very plausible, because since my last video, I've also watched interviews of R. Kelly. I was trying to get some clearance on at least one of them, but I couldn't. I may link those. I don't really want to have a lot of post-production, so I'm not going to swear to it. If they in the description box, click on them. Anyways, one I watched, they were both from, one was British, like he had done something in the UK. And he was younger, you know. I didn't realize he was the one that wrote Vibe, y'all. It's been so many years. You got that vibe, vibe, vibe. Oh, tight. I was like, damn, that is R. Kelly. Anyway, so this was an older video. Both of them were older. But the one from the UK he was bald headed. And he didn't have no beard. He just had like real thin, this coming down. Like just real, like. And I saw the child in him. But he's so honest. He's not sophisticated. Musically, he's absolutely gifted. But I saw that he's not sophisticated. I think this is part of his mystique with women. You know? Then he's got that weird little... Now, he's from Chicago like me, so I don't talk like that. But I don't know where his people are from, you know? But I really saw the child in him. The innocence. The naivete. But honesty, everybody. Listen, you got to get up early and stay up late to pull shit over on the Jedi. You just goddamn it do. And I did not detect... Am I recording? I think I'm recording. I'm going to keep on going. Anyway. I didn't detect any deception. And that video was... And even then... I don't think they asked him about any of the underage stuff. I don't think that was even part of that equation. Because you could tell he was clearly younger then. But I really loved that interview. I just loved it. But then the other one was the Ed Gordon interview on BET. And he had braids in his hair. He was up there in a suit. And he had a pastor with him. I'm over it. I tell y'all, all this stuff only happens to y'all Christian folks. All of this is Christian stuff. All Christian stuff. No need for me to go on here and preach to Muslims. I don't need to. I don't need to. Because this is not our life. It's not. We don't have an R. Kelly. We don't have an R. Kelly or any of the other stuff. We don't have that. But, you know Ed Gordon with his fake ass. But he was pushing him hard. But his answers were so forthright. And I have to say, I believed him, y'all. I believed him. Listen to this. Because I'm a very good trier of fact. And dissertation. Ed Gordon says to him, when he was asking him about the video, the video that everybody on the earth saw except for me, where he was with this underage girl, and I know Sparkle had been up there speaking because I hadn't seen her speaking. I didn't know that whole backstory. I know all that now. Now I know all of that, but I didn't at the time. that I spoke before. And by the way, y'all know I'm not a sports fan. My neighbor that lives across from me, he's an older gentleman. He bought this for me because whenever he goes away, if he's going to be gone for a few days, I pull in his mail for him, you know. And the first time that I did that, might have been the second time. I feel like it was the first one. He brought me this, and I was so honored. Like, you don't have to do this. Like, I'm not looking for it. And he was trying to give me a little bit of money, and I wouldn't take it because I did this because it's good for you. Like, you know. But something like this, I couldn't turn it down because it fits me, and you know, money is one thing. But anyway, so I love this. Anyway, and it just happens to be Lakers. Like, I'm not a fan, but Ed Gordon says to him about the video. He says, well, you know, if I didn't see the video. He goes, why would I need to see the video if I know I didn't do it? He goes, that's just like if somebody said you robbed a bank. We're going to show you on tape. I don't need to see that videotape because I know I didn't rob the bank. Why would I look at the tape? That was so believable, but it wasn't just what he said. It was how he said it. I believed him, y'all. And then I made in my other video, I was saying, you know, what I know for sure is he's a black man. And if it was any scintilla that he did anything, they would have him locked up because I said, I remind you that they indicted Michael Jackson. You know, they did all this shit to Michael Jackson on a accusation, you know, and blah, 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 blah. But I still stand by that because even more firmly now, I think, because there was essentially two cases that he went to court for, you know, and the family got up there and said, nah, that's not our daughter. And the girl got up there and said, that's not me. And they had two of her friends to say, we know that's her. And she was saying, it's not me. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Because I didn't see the video. And, you know, they would show, like, but I don't know what they were doing. So I don't know. I don't know. And I know that Dave Chappelle did his whole thing, you know, pee on me and all that stuff. I mean, that can still have happened in the video and it not be R. Kelly, you know. Here's what I think is the most important thing I can say to you. Everybody's going on about he molested these girls. We have to remember space and time. And that the white man is not the arbiter of all that is, of nothing that's right, quite frankly. But he's not the arbiter of right and wrong and what's proper. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. You know, on earth there used to be a time when there was no money. There was no such thing as money. Where people bartered and trade and just gave in good faith to people because this was something you needed and I have more than you and here you can have it. Everything wasn't always about money. That's the first thing. But there was also a time, and there still is in many places on the earth, where once a girl is above the age of 12, some places younger, I think, but don't hold me to that, but certainly over 12, if she feels like she wants to be married, she can do that. You know, who has placed this arbitrary number of 18? Who has placed that? Who has placed that? Because what we know is none of these girls... I already hate it. This is supposed to go at least an hour. And it only went 18 minutes. Anyway. Such is my life. But I was in the middle of saying, just challenging the consciousness to say, who has set this number? Because none of these girls went there. None of them were kidnapped and taken by force, and now you're going to be in the clutches of R. Kelly. It wasn't that sinister. They went there, and I'm willing to say they all wanted some interaction sexually with this man. Let's stop a minute about whether that's right or wrong. Let's just go through this. Because I always tell you, two things can exist in the same place, everybody. Two things can exist in the exact same place. I know from my own life, as many of us do, girls are just hotter now. Just hot. Fast and hot. Because there used to be a time when, you just simply didn't, for boys and girls, you just didn't have sex. You just didn't do that, That was something that was not normal. If it did happen, it was highly secretive, definitely not trying to get you pregnant. If you got pregnant, it's a problem for all humanity. Your parents didn't accept it. Your friends looked at you crazy. It was a different time. But why was it a different time? What has changed? Pollution has changed. Just like they're rolling in this transgender and LGBT stuff as if this is something that we should all just be embracing. And no, we don't. We don't have to do that. Because there was a time when we didn't. You see, trying to show you how there was time. There was time. Oh, there is a counter. Okay. Anyways, it's a different camera on this thing now, so there's a bunch of stuff. Anyway. So they were old enough to know better. And they went, even the girl that was outside of his fucking trial, and he was hollering. I was like, but that said to me, and I don't remember how old she said she was. I think she might have been 17. No, she wasn't. Because she mentions later at the pool, he's saying, she told him how old she was. Anyway. But she's the perfect example, because there she was out there. She knew what she wanted to do. She was out there. And this is at his trial. So you knew he wasn't there because he sold ice cream cake. And he invites her over, or she goes, whatever happens. And then now next thing you know, they kissing at the pool, and she loses her virginity. No matter how we want to look at that, she went on her own. She did. So when we look at this age thing, I think we're better served to understand this whole thing by, let's not look at age, let's look at activity. Let's look at behavior. Let's look at choices. And I would dare to say that a lot of males, hear me now, would feel like, and especially now, because girls look so much more mature. Damn. But I think a lot of males would tell you right now that if they're in the right environment, they don't know the age, they assume because of the environment she must be at least whatever, they might be inclined to go ahead, and in fact a lot of brothers do. This isn't just unique to R. Kelly. This is a sign of the times, everybody. And again, it's happening to y'all Christian folks. We don't have this in Islam. Because why? There is no dating. There is no sex before marriage. Men and women cannot be alone that are not related to each other unless they're chaperoned. I mean, Allah has provided for all this shit You understand? So that you don't get into, so no matter who R. Kelly is or who the girl is or what her intentions are, it won't happen. It can't. But y'all Christian folks, you're not connected to God in any way. That's why I want my people to come up out of that bullshit, because it's toxic, it's vomit, it's fake, and it falls flat. And it does not lead you to paradise. It doesn't. You understand? You will do anything, because you don't think you have any culpability in your actions on this earth. You've been told that Christ died for you, when that's a fucking lie. Go watch the video that I did called Jesus was sent only to black people. Even your scripture tells you he was sent to the lost tribes of Israel, for those people at that time. Period. He's not the savior of mankind. He didn't die on a cross. He didn't come to be crucified and save humanity, all the bullshit. None of that. You don't have a savior. And the people who understand that submit to God, what the way of life that God has prescribed. And so we don't have these problems. I've told you this a million times. Go and just Google or subpoena all the names of police brutality victims. Just go subpoena them just for the last 50 years. Whatever. You won't see names that look like my government name, my birth name on that. You won't see it. You won't see it. You see the names that you see. You see? It's a problem, everybody. But this is what you get. All this hashtag Me Too, don't feel sorry for you. If women weren't walking around wearing shit that God has said, don't wear that, you wouldn't have the problem. You see? So I can't feel sorry for that. I say you get what you deserve. You reap what you sow. So, in this case, you have R. Kelly, famous guy, a lot of money. And you have these girls that are not being kidnapped. We can get into, but he held them against their will after the fact, and they couldn't go. Well, I don't know, because everybody that said they left and wanted to leave did leave. But I think the one sister was very telling when she said she left, but she got to the airport and she just couldn't leave, you know. And they'll bring in all the psychiatrists, most of them white, who don't understand black behavior on any fucking level at all. But they will bring them in to say, you know, there's a psychosis, and they put some label on it. I'm over that. I'm not a psychiatrist. I have to evaluate shit for what I see from common sense that God has given me. And in my mind, and also life experience, you know. Take out the R. Kelly and all this other stuff. We just know that women get so hooked on dudes. I don't understand that shit at all. They be on the dude like he's the fucking messiah. I was watching the reel, but it's very telling. Because like I said in my other video, women are picking the penis. They're not picking the man. The talk show, The Real, you guys know it's my favorite talk show. And they were talking about this billionaire guy that is now going through a divorce. And anyways, they were talking about how he's a nerd. And then the girlfriend apparently shared text with other people of stuff he had sent her, you know. And it was so nerdy. And they were like, they're reading the stuff and they were repulsed by it. Well, he didn't have game, as we would call it in the hood. He didn't have game. But he's a fucking billionaire. And was a good guy and all this stuff. I mean, you see what I'm saying? But just the faces they were all making up there, and they're all women of color. You see, so our women are not getting the goods because you seek out bullshit to begin with. You're not interested in the good guys. You're not. I speak for good guys. I speak for us. I speak for us. But sadly, there's many of us, not your boy, thankfully, but there's many of us that you see walking down the street with that white bitch. Because we're over your black ass. Because you're picking the penis. You can't see my intellect. You don't see my talent. You don't see my humor. You don't see a bunch of shit about me. So I'll just go get me a white bitch. And then they do. And then you bitch at them that they have a white bitch. You see, everything about it is wrong. You see? So I always have to apply the life that I live, that has been ordained and instructed for me by the divine. You know? And because that is the standard by which everything is measured for me in my life. And you know, a lot of people were saying, well, you know, Jedi, you don't, you know, how could you defend this predator? And what are some of the comments? Let me see if I can see some of this right now. Shout out to Empress Day Akibalan. Shout out to you, my sister. Um, then there was people saying R. Kelly needs to be in prison. Um, Little off topic, but I loved your comment, Nikidra Darden, on the grudges, especially that opening sentence. Uh, I feel you on that. Hopefully, when I do a live stream, you'll be part of that. We can talk about that. I'd love that. Um, Anyways, just there was some things. You see, um, you know, and I want so much for our women. I just do. I want you to get in the fucking driver's seat and get on your damn throne and stay the fuck on that bitch and don't even look down. Because when you do that, then you get a better result. All this thirsty shit has got to go. And to me, these were thirsty bitches. And I mean that not in its worst way, almost, because, you know, if I could get to, well, I'm married to Janet, so it doesn't count. I don't know why I would even say that. I'm already married to Janet. But what if I wasn't? But what if I wasn't? So if I wasn't married to Janet, then if I was someplace and I mean, okay, I'm just gonna let it out. There was a time when I was just a fan. All right, I can say that. I'm man enough to say. I'm man enough to say there was a time when I was just a fan of Janet. You know what I'm saying? I was in the concert. You know what I'm saying? I was in the audience at the concert and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now she's my wife and everything. But what if she wasn't? If I had an opportunity to get to her, and this is like my ultimate woman, and she's interested in me, I'll be her slave. I'll be her slave. I will be her slave. She could lock me in a room. I don't have to eat. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. So, you know, maybe some of that goes on and went on with these girls, you know. And to be in that environment, to be that close to fame, I can speak to that. 'Cause it's a different world, everybody. I've tried to talk on this before. You know, I've been very close to fame and celebrity friends. I've been in movies. I've been on television. I taught dance. I had a band. I had a team of, I mean, you know. And when you are around famous people, the air changes. Literally, the air you're breathing changes. When you're standing on just a sidewalk, it's not the same sidewalk anymore. It doesn't even, it's, I can't even describe this to you. It's just different. It's different. Everything is different because it's a different reality. You know, and this girl's talking about at his pool, it was like a jungle and the water changes colors and all that. She's from nowhere, USA. And it's R. Kelly, you know. And while he's not the Jedi, sadly, because nobody can be, so he'll never be as good looking as I am. What are you going to do? But R. Kelly, men judge men. You know, whatever brothers want to tell you, they're lying. We judge each other. I don't want to use the word judge. We're checking each other out. You know, and because a lot of black men are bitches, I'm going to say judging for some of them. But black men, we notice each other. That's how everybody ends up looking the same. Every nigga that you see is a cookie cutter. They all wearing the same shit. They all walk the same, talk the same, do everything the same. Because they watching each other. Anyway. And so we can look on an R. Kelly and we would have a male evaluation of him physically and his character and all those other things, you know. Because he's R. Kelly, and the more you got going on and he's such a draw to black women, brothers are really going to watch him. Maybe I get that R. Kelly, I'll get me a female, you know. So you can call it research, whatever you want to call it. Men watch men. Period. The fucking end. Like, can we just put that to bed? And so he has this thing, and he's charming. I love those interviews, you guys. I think I became a fan of him watching those videos. I was a fan of his music, but I really hadn't really watched any interviews of him. But I watched those two interviews, and I know him. You know, when he talks about in the British interview, I think it was the British interview, did this song with Celine Dion. Celine Dion, bitch. Celine Dion. I don't care what you want to say about Mariah and Whitney and anybody else you're going to bring up. If angels sing, they sound like Celine Dion. I said it. Because she's a technician. Mariah is gifted. Whitney was gifted. Nobody can do what Whitney did. Nobody can do what Mariah does. Celine Dion is by herself. Just like those women are by themselves. Celine is a technician. Her voice, she stops time. I love her voice. My God. Anyway, they did this song, and I told you guys before he's worked with a lot of people. But he was talking about how he got that he had done this song Angel, and he felt like he needed a female voice on it, and he just decided to call up to her people and see could he get Celine, and she said yes. And next thing you know, they were on their way to Canada. You know, but the way he tells the story, and just the way he speaks in his interviews, his body language, his everything, you know, I couldn't be mad at him. I couldn't hate him. I believed him. I mean, so I always tell you two things can exist in the same place. So that can all be genuine, and that's exactly who he is. Which, by the way, this Drea chick does not add up because she looks like a space alien to me. You know, she's talented, you know, and you know she's a good-looking sister and all that, but she just looks like a mosquito bite. Like she doesn't look like his type. And we would say that even if he wasn't R. Kelly. Anytime you someplace you see a brother with a sister or a sister with a brother that don't match, you'd be like, why is she with him or why is he with her? This is one of them for me. Like this Drea Kelly person, I can't. She looks like a praying mantis. I think it's a praying mantis, and a mosquito, and a praying mantis. Yeah, praying mantis, the pointy praying mantis. I just think it comes down to this, everybody. You have a time now in which they say a girl is or a boy is not of mature age until the time that they have set. Whether we want to accept that or not, that's the law of the land. But I cited that there was a time when that wasn't the case. Like there was a time on earth when that just wasn't the case, you know. And even if it wasn't for sexual reasons, like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam took it. Okay, I need to end this because I'm not fighting with this damn thing. Anyway, I think what I was saying, I don't know what's going on. It's supposed to be going directly. Damn it. It's always something with me, dude. Anyway, let me just get this out the way and say this. I think essentially you're dealing with overzealous girls that were willing. Before I even get to he held me by, you know, against my will and I couldn't eat and I had to call him daddy. Before you get to that, I think you're dealing with girls that were overzealous and hot, who are not Muslims. And he just took advantage, as they were too. So it was a mutual taking advantage of. I also, based on, we know that his wife is the one that had to teach him how to read and write. You know, and if you watch him in the interview at one point, the interviewer uses a word. Can't remember it. I could tell he didn't know the meaning of that word. And so he used a different way to ask him, what did you say to me, without saying that. Because people who are literate, they're very good at that. I used to have a kid that worked for me. And he's 19 years old. And I found out one day he couldn't read. It broke my heart. Fantasia even talked about, like she couldn't read and write. So it's a lot of people out there, and that makes them even more. And when you hear him in the interviews, I'm gonna try and find those so I can link them. He's talking about how he's talking about what's going on in his life. It's very organic. It's very innocent. It wasn't contrived. Let me do this. So he just listened to what we said back to him as a group, and that's the music he put out. That's how he was inspired. It's very. I listen. In the context of today, what he did was wrong. But again, I said we could look at that. But I don't think that he was, the Grim Reaper or, Jack the Ripper that was going out and preying on these girls. And, wherever he showed up, they showed up. They wanted it to be on. He wanted it to be on. And it was on, you know. Aaliyah, we see, it goes back because, but who amongst us has not been fooled at some point, even if it's not to that level? Hear me. I'm saying just you're in a store or you're someplace or maybe somebody you went to school with and you didn't realize that they were a lower classman and you're a senior. Turns out she's a freshman, you know, or some, it just, what I do know for sure is this. He's not the worst person on the planet. Nobody died, and it takes two. You want to tell me he wrestled these girls to the ground and it was against their will? I have a different response to that. This was mutual by people who are not Muslim, who are seduced by the lie that's been told to them about their creator and their maker, who have bought into a norm that is not normal. Allah says to mankind, that which is wicked will be made to seem normal to them. That means every fucking thing, you see? And so we know this, and we sit back as Muslims and we go, oh, look at that. They're making that normal now. Look, well, now they're normalizing that. Look, now they're doing that. We just watching third party. But that's what you're doing. And it goes with, again, with this whole LGBT stuff and all this. I was watching documentaries the other day about transgender children. Bitch, when you're a child, you do what the fuck I tell you. Get your ass, take your shit. And but it wasn't that wasn't the case. It was these white parents, of course, that are, well, she knew when she was 3 and we just supported her. Bitch, what? You're gonna do what I fucking tell you to do until you are out of my house paying your own fucking bills. Then you can decide what and who you are. You see, all these rights. There's too many rights. You see, but even your Christian scripture tells you, you spare the rod, you spoil the damn child. I believe in corporal punishment for children, and I don't think you have to even exercise that punishment as long as they know your threats you will follow through with. You never have to touch them. Just present yourself as crazy and back that shit up, and you don't have no problems. You don't have no problems. You don't have no problems. I can count the number of times I've had to spank my nephew and any of my nieces and nephews, and I got a whole host of them. A lot of them are grown now, but I can count the number of times I've had to touch any of them, because they know that Uncle means what the fuck he says. If I say it, then I mean that. Like, don't test that. Don't test it. Don't test it, because he will get you. He will get you. My niece now, who's 8, when she was 4, I got the belt on her ass. I had to let her know Uncle will take your ass down, and he means it. No problems out of her. So, but I just mentioned that to say that all this stuff is being normalized. It's all being normalized. I want to bring you something in another video about Title IX. Roland Martin spoke on it briefly in that piece that I linked for you guys, that Jane Elliott piece, where it was him and Jane Elliott. But one thing I love about Roland Martin is he's a statistician. Is that what you call it? A statistician? Statistician? Anyway, and I was provoked because I heard something else. I learned that Obama had added, when they had the bathroom scandal in one of the Carolinas about whether or not, transgenders should be able to use the bathroom of the gender they feel they are. it's just the whole. Like I said, this is the seed of the devil. Everybody, you can't be surprised by R. Kelly or no other shit that goes on. If you want to be this outraged in a Muslim country, I'm with you. But this is the asshole. This like you walk into a crack house and then you're outraged that somebody is pissing in the corner. Like you're in a crack house, bitch. So this is the same thing for me. This is it's about your worldview. Your worldview affects how you see everything. If you're petty and little, then and you don't understand the bigger picture, then this thing with R. Kelly is more magnified for you. It's not so much for me. You know, I'm able to compartmentalize and segregate. For me, this was two willing parties, no matter what the ages. Throw that out. Aaliyah liked R. Kelly, was willing, and that's what it was. These girls, all of them, were willing. He was willing, and that's what it was. Forget the age. You know, God can deal with the morality of that. You know, they both were consenting. Throw out whether they were adults or not. If they were consenting, they were consenting. They were of sound mind, yes. So therefore, when he told the girl, go and put your bathing suit on and walk and then start taking one piece off, she could have said, nah, right then and there, I'm out. Because nobody ever told a story that they said no and he continued. That's what we haven't heard. That's glaring. You understand? Nobody was even seemed like they were forced to stay in the house. People that wanted to leave got ghost and left. So, you know, I can't. I can't. I can't. But like I say, I'm going to bring you some stuff on Title IX because I found out that Trump undid what Obama did. And now they can't use the same bathroom as everybody else. I'm just glad about it because Title IX is something that we marched for. African people went to jail and were bloodied and beaten. A lot of white people are getting shit that we fucking paid the price for, including the LBGT fucking community. And they need to understand from where their bread has been buttered. When they want to bitch about a Kevin Hart or something, they need to understand that it's his people who made a lot of your shit possible, and you're clinging to the shit that we marched for. You haven't marched for anything but marriage. That's all you've marched for. And if you when you got that, that's I'm sure once I do my study into Title IX, it's probably under that, or some other title that we had the blood that we had to shed for that. So know from whence your bread is buttered. Know that shit. But all of this is in the context of a godless society, everybody. Completely godless. Completely godless. So for me, this is the proverbial crack house. And I can't be upset with anything that R. Kelly or anybody else has done, quite frankly. Because this is the seat of the devil. Last thing I'll say, because it's probably going to cut off, and if it cuts off, I'm not coming back. But I'm going to try. I'm hoping that my live stream is going to be back up soon, you guys. It was only supposed to be 90 days. We're well past that, but the white man is the devil, so who knows when it's coming back. So hopefully I'm going to be able to do that soon. But like I say, next I would like to be able, I've got some eclectic things I'm going to bring you. I don't know if the Title IX thing will be next. I got some other stuff, and I want to bring you also some more miracles of Islam. I want to bring you something on the very atom, everybody. The atom. We've known it for nearly 1,500 years. But they only discovered it in the 1800s. But here it is in this book that God revealed nearly 1,500 years ago. If you watch me and you're one of my faithful followers and you have not picked up the Quran and began to study Islam on your own, I have nothing for you. I got nothing for you. Because I'm proving you're on the wrong path. Whatever path you're on outside of Islam is completely wrong. And if you've heard me, you're going to be held accountable for that. So ignorance will not be your friend on the great day of judgment. That's what you need to know. Anyways, that's what I have to say about the whole extension piece to the R. Kelly. And then in the previous piece before I came on camera about the Super Bowl. So, I've said my piece. I also want to say thank you to the most recent donors to the GoFundMe, if I didn't say that already. The link for the GoFundMe is in the description box down below. Everybody, I need your help. I cannot do this alone. And I don't need anybody else but us. I need you. We're capable, and in numbers we can get it done. If everybody just gave $1 on every video of mine they watch, we'd be done. We'd be done. We'd be done. I understand the fierce urgency of now, and 2020 is going to come up like that, and I'm going to be sitting here going, we didn't raise the money. I'm not compromising. I know what has to happen, everybody, in order for this to be successful. Most people's stories that I've seen that moved to Africa and had to come back because they didn't have the right financial plan. I know what needs to happen. So don't be stubborn. Be use whatever you have in your power. If you're not wealthy, that's fine. Give what's in your power, or just give $1. But don't not give anything. All right? I'll see you soon. This is the Jedi.